The Kavanagh hearing, which was a witch hunt, is finally over. I wanted to celebrate this great news and this great outcome. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I haven't been able to comment on this, which I would have liked to. But first, on the politics, I think this will be great for the Republicans because it did energize their base. Also, this whole spectacle revealed how low the Democrats are willing to go. And personally, I hope Kavanagh sues these people that made these false allegations. He certainly should. And the reason why he probably won't sue is because we have the wrong standard on libel laws. You see, people could not slander you so easily when the libel law was, as it was and is in England. The criteria is whoever is telling the truth wins. If you say something false about somebody who hurts them, hurts their reputation, like these allegations did to Kavanagh, if it's false, you lose. But the New York Times versus Sullivan jurisprudence just really ruined things in the United States. Some slick lawyer was able to persuade a stupid Supreme Court that there should be a different criteria for well-known people, for media people, for celebrities, for politicians. So you can say anything you want, and then if they sue you, they have to prove reckless disregard for the truth, gross negligence, higher standards, when it should be just the truth. And if you don't know if it's true, you shouldn't say it because you are damaging another person's reputation. But that has ruined our country and made the press totally irresponsible, and people willing, like Avenatti, willing to say anything about anybody to get any kind of gain with very little fear of reprisal by the person who they're harming. So that's what you saw here. And I want to talk a little bit more about smears later. But one of the things that is important to notice in this whole situation is, like I said before, the politics. And I think this could be actually quite good for the Republican Party, revealing what the Democrats are willing to do, how they're willing to use defamation and smear tactics to try to achieve any end. This is, unfortunately, where our country is at this moment. Let me do a little bit of anatomy of a smear. You know, people really haven't talked too much in depth about this. Every time there's an election, the candidates are tempted to smear their opponent because that way they can win the election. And the way it used to be is most candidates didn't dare do that because if the smear was false, if it turned out to be they were just saying negative things about the candidate that were, you know, expose them to the, you know, disapproval by the whole country because they accuse them of crimes, of pedophilia, this or that, whatever, any really, you know, rape, all these things that they can use. They didn't usually do that because there was a downside. If the other candidate proved that it was false and that you just said that to damage his chances in the election, then the smear merchant would be the one that would lose. So they were held in check. Now, Hillary Clinton found a way around this, which was that she did opposition research, which was basically a smear, the dossier prepared by Steele, Russian gossip and misinformation, and got it into the Justice Department through back channels to do the same thing, to smear. And so that's how she did it. And so these Democrats in the Kavanagh hearing also used other people to do the same thing. And they did it in a way so that there wasn't enough time really to find out whether the allegations were true or not. Fortunately, they did a Senate investigation and an FBI investigation, which of course the Democrats said was insufficient. But if they had presented these claims earlier in the hearing, we could have found out. But they didn't really want to find out the truth. So that's another sneaky way of trying to smear a candidate or an opponent with false allegations and then shield yourself from the results if it turns out that everybody can see what you did was a smear. So that's the thing. There's always that temptation in elective process or voting process or majority rule processes, and that's what we have to avoid. And the fact that the libel laws are wrong, and the fact that they could use an underhanded way to do it like Hillary Clinton did, well, we have to be on the lookout for that, because those are sneaky ways of smearing. Now, I used in the title of this another witch hunt, because Trump has been exposed to the same thing. It was a witch hunt, and with the same purpose, except that Hillary and other Democrats in the deep state, they were able to do this using the government to make the allegations in the FISA warrants and leaking it to the press, and then claiming that what they leaked was classified, so they can't tell the congressman, or they can't tell the American people. This is what happens when you don't have the right libel laws and you have a corrupt government that's willing to serve one party at the expense of the other, to serve one candidate at the expense of the other, to try to undermine a president even after he's elected. He's not even a candidate anymore. So that's the analogy here. Two witch hunts. The first one ended very badly. This one with Kavanagh. I hope the second one ends the same. And all those people that did the smear are outed. That's what we need. And then prosecuted. That's the only way to stop this kind of nonsense. So I wanted to share the great news and hope that all of you can enjoy it, and that we can reap some great benefits from the triumph of justice. That's one of my supreme values in life. Let me know what you all think. Thank you.